Okay, so today we're diving into a poem that is, well, it's as powerful as it is unsettling. It's called Abandoned by Dr. Suraya Nasim. It really confronts you with a reality that, honestly, a lot of us would probably rather ignore. So let's just get right into it.
Our journey begins right where the poem does, with this one single stark image. You can just feel the somber tone, right? It just drops us, boom, directly into a scene of utter neglect and desolation. This is the world we're about to enter.
All right, section 1, an unthinkable scene. And believe me, the poem does not ease you in at all. It just throws you right into the deep end, into this truly unthinkable situation. It lays out this horrific setting and introduces us to its most helpless subject.
I mean, wow. Right from the very first lines, the imagery is just so direct, so brutal. There's no fancy metaphor here, just a cold, factual description of an infant left to die. That physical horror is immediate. It's so visceral that it's basically impossible to look away.
Then the poem gives us this really crucial phrase, an outcast of destiny. Think about that for a second. It's so important because it frames the infant not as someone who has done anything wrong, I mean, how could they, but as a completely passive victim of fate. This baby has been stripped of all agency, its entire life defined by the single act of being discarded.
Okay, next section, the senses of suffering. And this is where the poem gets really immersive. It's going to pull us right into the baby's harrowing experience through all of its senses. It's honestly a masterclass in showing you, not just telling you, the true depths of this kind of suffering. First up, the assault on the sense of smell. The poem describes foul smells coming from disposed bacteria. It's an immediate signal of decay and filth, all of it just surrounding this brand new life. Next up, the auditory horror. The baby is crying, of course, but the poem calls them unheard shrieks of the baby's hysteria. And that's the real tragedy. It's not just the crying, it's the profound, absolute isolation of those cries. No one is listening. And to make it even worse, the poem contrasts those unheard shrieks with the eerie silence of the night. That quiet just amplifies the desolation, making the baby's world feel vast, empty, and just absolutely terrifying. Then, the poem shifts to the visual details of the body actually failing. Cyanosed is a clinical term. It means there's a lack of oxygen in the blood, which literally turns the skin blue. This grounds the suffering in a cold medical reality. The baby isn't just sad, it's physically shutting down. And finally, the sense of touch. The poem mentions a tattered and torn, dirty wrap that does nothing to protect the infant from the freezing grasp of the cold. There is no warmth, no comfort, only that biting cold. This whole idea of dehumanization is just driven home so hard with the line, forced, lonely like crap. I mean, look at the clinical definition, solid waste. By using this word, the poem underscores the ultimate degradation. The infant has been reduced to refuse, an object to be thrown away.
Now, the narrative takes a really terrifying turn. Up to this point, the suffering has been kind of passive, the cold, the smells, but now the danger becomes active. It becomes imminent as the natural world arrives on the scene.
The tension just builds with the arrival of the first creature, a filthy black cat, a scavenger. And that description is so deliberate, painting a picture of something feral, something opportunistic, approaching this totally helpless being.
And then the poem poses this chilling question. And, while the answer feels kind of inevitable, that little bit of suspense just makes the reveal all the more horrifying.
And there it is, the shocking, brutal truth. The cat isn't just a bystander, it's a predator. And in this context, the baby is no longer a baby, it is simply food. The dehumanization is now absolutely complete. What follows is pure chaos. The poem describes a violent, frantic scene, a bloody chaos. And it's not just the cat anymore. Now there are rats too, all fighting over this one small body. The sounds, the actions, it's just a horrific climax where the infant is being torn apart.
So after that climax, the poem shifts one last time. It moves from telling a story to passing a judgment. It's about to deliver its final, devastating commentary on everything we've just witnessed.
The final line is split in two, and it creates this moment of really profound suspense. It poses an almost theological question, right? What could a newborn possibly have done to deserve this? What was its sin?
The answer is just gut-wrenching in its simplicity. The only crime was existence itself. And by placing these two words all on their own, the poem gives them this incredible weight. It turns the blame away from the victim and points it outwards, towards the world that allowed this to happen. So you have to ask yourself, who could write something so harrowing, but also so full of empathy? To really understand this poem, I think it helps to understand the poet, Dr. Soraya Nassim.
So Dr. Soraya Nassim is a medical professional. Her work requires logic, science, diagnosis. It's a world that is governed by the brain.
And this is the crucial contrast. Her poetry comes from a totally different place. This poem isn't some clinical observation. It's a work of deep, profound humanism. It is a cry from the heart against a terrible injustice.
And that heart speaks with incredible power. Her style is so direct and emotionally resonant that it got her poetry nominated for the Booker Award back in 2013, which is one of literature's highest honors. It just proves that sometimes the most powerful statements are the most direct ones.
So we end here. The poem declares the infant's only sin was being born. But this final question, it turns that verdict right back on us, the reader, and on society at large. It forces us to ask, if the baby is sinless, then where does the sin truly lie?